Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here today, especially after having heard the representatives of the Iranian organizations from Britain, France, and the United States. It's really an inspiration and I think significant for political leaders in the West in particular to understand the depth of support that the Iranian opposition has around the world. And it's particularly gratifying to be here today with you under the banner that was just up there about regime change in Iran, because make no mistake about it, it's been my view for quite some time that it should not be the policy of the United States to negotiate with the regime in Iran. It should be the policy of the United States to overthrow the regime in Iran. Nobody needs to tell you the regime is oppressive. It's not a government loyal to the people of Iran. It's a government loyal to itself and keeping itself in power. The June 14 presidential election last year may have fooled a lot of people in the West, but surely it didn't fool anyone in Iran, and it reflects no change whatever in the regime's fundamental objectives. And it's obviously not just the oppression of Iran's people. It's the regime's role for these past 35 years as the world's central banker for international terrorism, the chief supplier of weaponry and training to terrorist regimes on an equal opportunity basis across the Middle East, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the murderous Assad regime in Syria, Hamas in the Gaza Strip, the al-Maliki government in Iraq, and even the regime's once sworn enemy, the Taliban in Afghanistan. This support for terrorism, reflecting the arc of influence that the regime has tried to create in Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon, is a threat not just in the Middle East, but around the world. I watched Rouhani almost exactly 10 years ago when he was the regime's chief nuclear negotiator. He read out of the same playbook in the agreement that led to Geneva that he did 10 years ago against the European Union negotiators to buy time, to perfect the nuclear program. The United States, the President and the Secretary of State have both said that Iran is entitled to a peaceful nuclear program. I'll tell you when that's true. Iran will be entitled to a peaceful nuclear program when this regime is on the ash heap of history and not before. So what should we be doing rather than dealing with this regime? What should we be doing to overthrow it? It seems to me there are several things. The first thing that the United States in particular should do is get out of the way of the legitimate Iranian opposition. It should be the responsibility of Washington to resolve the problem of the refugees at Camp Liberty. If other countries won't take them, the United States should take every one of them as a political refugee. I must say our weakness on this point is palpable. The al-Maliki regime in Iraq today is the most threatened point that it's ever been. This is the time for Washington to apply leverage, to solve the problem of the refugees at Camp Liberty, and to insist that al-Maliki fundamentally break with the regime in Tehran before we supply any more weapons, intelligence, or military training. Let's be clear, the regime is weak. It does not have popular support. It has made a hash of the economy for 35 years. There's enormous economic discontent. The youth of Iran, almost 2/3 of the population under 30, know they could live a different life. They can see it. They talk to their friends. There's no secret about this. This is the moment for regime change. That's the policy we should follow, and sooner rather than later. Thank you very much.